No, no, I should be live. It's always a dangerous thing to give me the microphone, but I will do my best to be as brief as possible. That's a great intro. Thank you very much, Sophia. It's great to have you all here today. Thank you so much for taking the time. Within Microsoft, we talk an awful lot about the culture and our cultural shift. We're moving from, let's be honest, many years ago, we've probably been known as the know-it-alls. We had to have all the answers. And I think one of the biggest changes that we're looking at culturally is actually shifting towards the learn-it-all culture. It's incredibly important. We try to demonstrate curiosity. We don't have all the answers, which is why we have amazing partners like Ingram Micro, Sophia from Ingram Micro. We also have Sirko, who's joining us from apoQlar. And I'm really excited to have them both here today. We also have Leonie, who's within the Microsoft team. So listen, what I thought we'd do, just to kick off, it'd be great to do a little intro. I'll do my own first, just to give you an idea of what we're thinking about here. So my name is Andrew Macadam. I am the, what's the title I've got today? I am the Global Multi-Country Managing Director. There we go. So I am responsible directly for the European team of Microsoft for Startups, but I also lead the teams out of LATAM, Middle East Africa, India, and Australia Pacific. So I'm very lucky. I managed to get this amazing view across the world of these insights around what's going on in the startup ecosystem. And my role is really, I call myself a human API. My role is really about creating connections. It's about being involved in things like this, where we've got three amazing people that are going to give you their little bio in a second. But my role is really about working within the ecosystem and really simplifying the way that startups can engage with the Microsoft ecosystem and ultimately drive revenue. That's what we're here to do. Microsoft for Startups is here to help you scale and grow internationally. So Leonie, maybe, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Yeah, great, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Leonie. I'm from Germany and from Bavaria. So yeah, I'm like a Munich girl. And I work at Microsoft as a territory channel manager and responsible for our unmanaged accounts, aka the small medium business. And here we're focusing on our independent software vendors in Germany and business with relevant, exciting software solutions for our SMB accounts. And therefore, we're trying to inspire them for a cloud partnership with Microsoft. And why ISVs? ISVs are very important for us because they're driving digital transformation for our SMB accounts because they are covering direct problems with their solutions and helping all these SMB accounts these days on their daily business.
Fantastic. Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks, Leonie. Sophia, why don't you tell us a little about yourself? Where are you from? What do you do? And why are you here today?
My name is Sophia Breilmann. I'm responsible for the business development of ISVs at Ingram Micro. And Ingram Micro is one of the biggest distributors with around 55,000 resellers. So that's our strong suit. We've got a huge channel and a huge international channel. And we want to give you the chance to place your solution in that market together with us. And we can support you with technical services as well as marketing actions.
Now, hold on.
Yeah.
We're going to have loads of time for you to tell everyone about the amazing partnership that you're able to offer. So hold fire on that one, okay? Because 55,000 resellers. I think that alone, in and of itself, gives you an idea about the size and the scale of what Ingram Micro are doing in the market at the moment. And there's some really interesting things that Sophia is going to tell us about. Sirko, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Sirko from Hamburg, in the north of Germany. Hello, everyone, and the founder of apoQlar. And yeah, what do? We try to shift medicine back to patients and doctors, so that they have more capabilities, and therefore we use mixed reality. And we superimpose, for example, CTs, MRIs during a surgery on a patient so that you can do a much safer surgery.
Amazing, amazing, and really exciting. I'm sure we'll get a little bit more of a chance to hear a little bit more about what you're doing and who you're working with. But first thing I'm going to do is say, audience, what's going on? We've got like 45 people in the audience at the moment and literally no interaction. So let's make sure we're using that chat function. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from. You just heard the panel talk about themselves. We would love to hear. Oh, Manuel. Thank you very much. Look at this. Straight away, we've got Pay Active in the call with us. And the reason that I'm encouraging this is, look, this is just prepared. Good, excellent, well done, I love it. But the key thing about this is a networking event, okay? This isn't just you don't want to sit here and just listen to us the whole time. We want to use this as an opportunity. Community is incredibly important to what we're doing at the moment. And as we've said, all the way through this, partnership is critical as well. And the best way for us to all understand how we can partner more effectively is by being curious about each other. So I'm curious about all the people that we have on the call at the moment, and I'd also love to understand, what is it that you would like to get out of this? Maybe there are some questions as we go through this. You want to hear about Sirko's experience. You want to hear about what Sophia is going to do for you. You want to understand how Leonie has helped other companies. Now, those are the questions I'm probably going to ask them, let's be honest. But there might be ones that you've got in your own head. So please, Dive, excellent. Dive Solution, we actually had a chat with you the other week, didn't we? Really interesting solution as well. Check out these people. So the interesting part about what we're talking about here at the moment is very few of you will be in a similar space. Most of you will be in different areas, which means actually what's an amazing opportunity is the value chain. How do you actually all add value to each other? Maybe as a combined solution. And that's a great segue, I think, into this panel. Because I think what's really interesting about what we've got here is we've kind of got the value chain of the ecosystem on the panel here today. So Leonie, maybe if you want to kick off and tell us a little bit about how Microsoft actually sets up. Well, first of all, what is P2P? Because we use these, in Microsoft, we have a little tendency to use a lot of acronyms, let's be honest. So maybe what we could do is just start with what P2P is and how your role is actually impacting in that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Andrew. So I would like to give a picture on how we or how Microsoft scales with partners and with ISVs. So I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we had the chance to talk about the 3 components, how to co-sell with Microsoft. We got 1 point at the digital sales platform, the Azure Marketplace. Then we just got the Microsoft field sales with our account people. And the 3rd component we have is this partner-to-partner approach. This is in short terms called P2P. And this is what I want to focus on now in the next few minutes. So what does Microsoft co-sell and P2P mean? At Microsoft is the programmatic, that is meant P2P, is the ISV Business Accelerator. In short terms, it's called IBA. And this is our national framework to drive topics like ISV recruit and ISV co-sell at scale. So what is the IBA in detail? This is a joint initiative from Microsoft and partners to address all the independent software vendors in Germany. And to get them inspired for a cloud partnership with Microsoft, and on top get these solutions in a scalable way to the market via the co-sell motions like the Azure Marketplace I already mentioned, and the ecosystem of our cloud solution provider. So what does this mean in detail? Maybe the audience can give me a few thumbs up if they already heard of it. That would be great. So I have a picture on what people already know. So what does the IBA mean in detail? The IBA partners we are talking about have dedicated offers for our ISVs to empower them to develop them. So this might be on a technical level, but more important, these partners also help in the field of sales and go-to-market. So they provide a direct access to the market or a direct access to the end customers. And on top, they also help on building a partner channel with our resellers.
So Leonie, one of the things I would say that tends to be quite interesting from the perspective normally of this kind of audience as well is, are there specific examples, maybe sort of start to take people through something, maybe you've even spoken to someone you've spoken to recently around why they actually started working with you. And a couple of the things that maybe people, because I think you're right, I think we've got a mix on the call at the moment, people that are already working with us, but probably some people that have never even heard of what they can do. So maybe just an idea of who you're working with recently and a couple of the first steps you've taken with them.
You mean the direct ISVs, or do you mean special eBay partners?
Yeah, I think direct ISVs would be interesting just to I think looking in the chat window at the moment, there's a lot of people with some very interesting ISV solutions out there. So maybe just a little example of, at a very simple level, how can they engage with you, and what might be the first steps you would take with them?
Yeah, so we actually already are in contact with a startup, a former startup from the Microsoft Startup Program, and they just stepped out of the program. I don't know if they're here in the audience today. They just stepped out of the program, and we had direct contact to them and helped him to get in contact with the right eBay partner. It always depends on which state they are. Do they need some technical help? Do they just need the access to the market? It's just an individual thing, and that's how we interact with them. We're just proposing different eBay partners and showing all the dedicated offers to them. So the ISV has the opportunity to see what's in it for them, where they want to go, and which kind of support they need. And,
so what it sounds like then is what you're actually doing, that initial sort of engagement is really you spending a bit of time with them and then assessing sort of what the gaps are. And you've mentioned obviously technical, could be commercial, could be go to market, and then the way that you bring that to life is by connecting them with the right partner.
Yeah, that's true. For example, as we have Sophia here in the call, the Ingram, they have their expertise in building a partner channel. So that ISV has the access to a lot of resellers who resell solutions to their customers, because it's not enough to have just the perfect digital base or technical base. You also need the access to the market to get some sales done. So this is, for example, what the Ingram does. If a partner wants to, or the ISV wants to have access to the reseller market, the Ingram is here the perfect contact. So there are many.
It's a great segue, I think, to bring Sophia into the chat as well. Sophia, I mean, talk about, Leonie setting it up for you to knock it down. So I think you're on mute at the moment, just so you know as well. But it'd be great to hear, from that transition. Leonie's involved with them. Maybe they've been in the program. They've graduated. She's doing that assessment. She's looking at you as potentially one of those partners. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about what that looks and feels like.
Sure. There is a special thing called Azure credits, where ISVs can get some Azure credits from Microsoft. And after they are through, we are kind of taking over. We are showing the ISV what the steps look like to be successful in a channel. Because there are some things you have to check before you go to resellers, because resellers you have to address differently than when making direct sales. And those 3 steps are, first of all, consulting. So we check how far along is the solution. Is it SaaS ready? Is it cloud ready? Is it maybe already on Azure? If not, how can we put it on Azure? And also to get channel ready. And the second point would be to migrate. So we are helping them with technical services to get their solution up and running in the cloud, because we need that scalability. When you attack a huge market like ours with 55,000 resellers, and those resellers have end customers behind them. So that's like our scalability. You have to have a solution that is ready for that. It has to be on a brilliant platform, for example, Azure. And
for example, there are others out there.
And yes, you have to be ready to attack that market. And the last step would be to scale with us. So we have a cloud marketplace. It's pretty unique in the market, I think, where all of our resellers come together and buy and sell their solutions. And when you're ready, we can put you on there. There are some checklists, and I've seen in the chat there is an ISV that is doing checklists. I have to contact them, because we have a checklist where you can see how ready you are to be onboarded on the cloud marketplace. It's not like that. It has some, you have to be ready, but that's a thing I'm doing with the ISVs.
You see, I love this already, Sophia. Like, this is exactly what we talk about in these panels. Just by someone, and who was it? Let's call them out, because they took the time to write something in here. So which one? I'm trying to go through all of them at the moment. Who was it that you saw, Sophia?
Yeah, I'm checking. There are so many. I love it.
Person, quickly chat in the window.
Oh, here we go. I saw our startup who where I was talking about Userlane in the chat. It's Jonathan. He just popped out in the chat.
Lucas. It's Lucas Pittman.
There we go. It's Lucas. Lucas, excellent, good stuff. You see, and it's things like this. Everyone has the opportunity to make these connections. And Sophia, 55,000 resellers. Now, look, I've worked with Ingram for a number of years. I'm aware of the great work. Oh no, I don't have it. I was about to say, I even have a little coffee canister that I got from an event that I was at. We were talking before the event about Sophia herself as a bit of, I call them swag pies, you know, bright, shiny things. We love those little bright, shiny things we get from events. But I had an Ingram Micro coffee can. Really aware of what you're doing and also the value that you're really driving within this ecosystem. But why is Ingram doing it? Why are you working with all these amazingly innovative companies?
Well, first of all, it's super cool to hear about all those solutions that everyone is coming up with. That's like what I love most about my job. We just recently had an ISV that's working with us. Not sure if I'm allowed to call out their name, but they're pretty big in the HoloLens business.
Okay, cool.
Similar to another partner we've got on here. And they've put up a solution where you can see how you want to put what's the word? Wait a second. Furniture. Where you want to put furniture in a room, and you can just take the furniture and put it where you want it, and you see it in the glass. And then I've talked to one of our partners, so one of our resellers, and then they had the idea. They have big end customers in the jewelry region, and he said, "Hey, why can't I get a woman who wants a bracelet, and why can't she see the bracelet on her hand through the HoloLens?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And it's just amazing how many things you can do with that. And yeah, we've onboarded them. We've did a webinar just recently, like 30 minutes ago. The webinar was with them. We're promoting their solution. We're doing a case study with them. We're doing marketing with them. Yeah, and that's kind of the best part of my job.
This is brilliant, though, Sophia. And by the way, this is funny, isn't it? Because you could see the nervousness in Sophia going, oh, I've got apoQlar on the call, and I'm wondering what is the similarity between, using. But the beauty of this industry is there are so many different use cases and specialities. I don't think Sirko is feeling threatened by a augmented reality furniture company in comparison to the highly regulated medtech world. But that's the beauty of what we're looking at here, which is, you see similarities, and it's actually people, and everyone in the audience, really think about this. It's people like Sophia, it's people like Leonie that can sometimes make these connections that you're not even thinking about. And that's why the networking is going to be really important afterwards. And by the way, you'll have seen in the chat window, Thomas Sigmund is also is on with us today as well. Thomas and Leonie work very much hand in hand with regards to the role that they play. He's going to be around in the chat afterwards. So make sure, everyone, use this opportunity. Already we're starting to hear about these connections. Use this opportunity afterwards in the networking connection. But listen, Sophia, I think you've given some great examples of the way that you're actually sort of engaging. I'm going to come back to you in a few minutes and maybe talk a little bit about the specific program that I think you've developed. But I think what we should do, Sirko, I think it's a great segue from working with partners. I'd love to understand, first of all, why did you start working with a partner? What was the drive for you to do this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I told you last time already. No? So there is quite a famous book. It's a karma business or karma management, no? And it tells you make your employees, make your partner, your customers stronger, and you will be stronger yourself. No? And I think if you concentrate on doing this, even your competitors, then it works, right? And we work with Ingram, Sophia. We just have now a customer in Singapore, and I try to deliver a lot of HoloLens there. And it's a global company, right? And I can just go there, order it, and it's directly delivered in Singapore, no? Because you cannot even fly there at the moment. No? And that works when you have strong partners. And at the same time, when we go to hospitals, we sell a bundle. We send a bundle solution. No? So we have Azure, HoloLens all together. and you need to get the different pieces. And on the same time, we invite all partners to come on, develop on our platform, because we are already in the hospital, right? So that's an advantage.
It's a massive advantage, isn't it? But I love what you're talking about there, because I think it's, there's another book I talk about a lot, which is Give and Take by Scott Adams. And essentially there's great little anecdotes all the way through the book, but he talks about naturally as humans, there's givers, takers, and matchers. And naturally as humans, the way that we've been engineered over time is to be matchers. If someone does something, we like to do something for them, okay? But the interesting thing about that is we're terrible at matching. Within our brains, we have no idea of what equal value is when we do this matching. So what they found, and Scott's research really points out, is the most successful people are givers, but the least successful people are also givers. And what this comes down to is it's why you give. And I think, Sirko, from your perspective, what you just highlighted there was the value of giving intelligently, giving in a way that not only supports those businesses, because you recognize all boats rising, but it's also the value to you and your business, the value of working in partnership and enabling that scale and growth. But it's not an easy process, is it? I mean, it takes time and energy to do that. So maybe would you like to share a little bit about the experience that you had, what you had to go through to do this?
Yeah, but what you said, giving is always something which comes back to you as a person, also to develop yourself further, right? That's very important. But from the process point of view, now we are co-sell ISV. So how do we do it? For example, we went last year before the COVID appeared. We went with Microsoft in India. So we visited, for example, 9 hospitals in 3 days in 4 cities, which is quite crazy. So I didn't sleep at all. But it is something you go together to a customer, and then you can show your solution. So we had 3 ISV partners, and I think that made absolutely sense. The connections we did there. I'm knowing now all the families, and I have even friends. Last time I was in Korea now. So that's really, and it's not just the result important, is this process. Now, where can you experience such a process? No? So you will talk your whole life about this, no? And that's very nice. And with Ingram, we scale it now up. No? I think that's a very important message, no? Because they are big, they are everywhere, and what is your main issue as a startup is your sales, right? You have a great product, but you need to sell it. How do you do it? No, you go yourself to hospitals, like I did last year, alone to 50 hospitals in different countries, and then you nearly die. No? Luckily, COVID appeared, and then you can take a rest, and then you can restructure your whole market approach, right? And then you see that you can work with wholesalers and and also with Ingram and all the others. No? Absolutely.
But it's funny, actually. I mean, I think this is a great little anecdote. Listen, in the audience, and I'm sure many, in the audience have a similar experience. What was it? 9 hospitals in how many cities in how many days? 3 days. 5 cities.
4 cities. Yeah.
4 cities. I mean, and it brings back that wonderful, that lovely little expression I've heard. What is it? The only place that hustle comes before success. That success comes. No, what is it? Hustle becomes before success in the dictionary, or whatever it is. But basically, without that drive, without that energy, without that passion, it's so difficult. Unless you start to think really intelligently about the way that you go to market. How is a relatively? I mean, how many people are in your business, Sirko? How many people do you have in apoQlar?
We are 25.
Exactly.
25 full time. Was whole time just focus on this one solution, and we are growing. So
exactly. So it's one of those though where 25 people, you don't have the opportunity to go to all of these places around the world, engage with all of these. Partnership is critical, isn't it?
Absolutely. No? So you cannot do it, and that's the nice thing, because Microsoft has in each country a sales structure. No, so there are people, there are local people especially, no, because. Try to sell in Malaysia. I was last year in Malaysia too. And I go there. I think it can work. It works also, but it's much better when you go with a local Microsoft person there, no? Because there is a sales team, healthcare, but it's also other industries. And then you go together, and then they know how it all works. No? They know the thinking of the customer. No?
Yeah.
I'm a German. I have my own thinking. I'm still thinking I'm open-minded, but they have a different one, right?
And that's a great look. I've got to bring Leonie back into the conversation, because I think Leonie, that's a great example, really, of the role that is within your remit. This is exactly why you're here, isn't it? Maybe you want to sort of explain again a little bit more about what you're doing and how you act as that local point of contact.
Yeah, of course. So I think this partnership, this partner-to-partner approach is very important. That's also why I want to underline the commitment we have to our partner channel. Again, when I'm talking about partners, I mean our eBay partners, but also our ISVs as a Microsoft partner. We have like a circle. And that's why we also got some Microsoft offers for ISVs, but we're always selling them or executing them with our partners together, because it's not enough to have just our side. We also need the expertise from our partners. So that's what I want to underline again. The IBA, the ISV Business Accelerator, is a program where every partner can find a place. So it's for the ISVs, it's for the IBA partners, the go-to-market partners, it's for the partners with their tech expertise. And that's the nice thing about it, because there's so many components and there's so much know-how and expertise from all the sides. And I think it's great to find a place for every partner in this program. And that's what it makes so exciting. And that's how all the different ISVs and their different solutions fit into this program.
Yeah, listen, Leonie, one of the things that a lot of people might not be aware of, like we're using some of this, again, it's some internal language sometimes that we default to, but we have what's called the co-sell program. It is what it is, as in it helps us sell with startups into our customers. But there's some value to the sellers themselves as well, isn't there?
Yeah, we got, for example, I just told you about the field sales we have. That also shows how important the ISV solutions are, because we got Microsoft sellers who just got incentives on selling different ISV solutions by themselves. That's one of the three components we have. And then there is, in my point of view, the point with the biggest opportunities for ISVs is about our partners, the way through our partners to do co-sell through our partners. Yeah.
Great. Listen, Elia, great to have you on the call. Elia has got a great question here, actually. I think this is a good one for you, Leonie. How important is building personal relationships with Microsoft to have a successful partnership?
I think it's very important, because teamwork is always great. I think you have different expertise, know-how, and you can look at projects on different sides if you have teamwork. If you have many people working on something, and that's important regarding building this personal relationship, and that's how we interact all the time. I have a weekly call with Sophia. We're talking about the ISV projects we have together, and the ISV is always included. I think it's very important to have, again, this circle with all the three components: Microsoft, the go-to-market partner, and the ISV.
Absolutely. No, I think that's great. And I think it also really helps, because we're dealing with so much information, aren't we? I think it's that ability to really, I always talk about differentiated value propositions, just having those little hooks, those little things that even if you're not going to do something right there and then, if it's at the back of your mind, then when you're having those serendipitous conversations, sometimes you're just able to bring them into that discussion that enables those amazing little opportunities. Interestingly enough, Sophia, I met Elia at the Ingram Micro Comet competition. He was one of the contestants. He did fantastically well in the competition as well. Maybe do you want to talk a little bit about that competition and what it really enables?
Sure. This was our second started comment, and there will be a third start coming next year. And well, we had loads of brilliant ISVs on there. I think it were, I don't know the exact number of participants, but it were loads and loads. And they went through different stages where they went before a jury and could present their solution, just like a sales pitch kind of thing. And the best of them were invited to a live presentation, and then again a jury was there to check out the solutions. And yeah, now we are currently checking out who will be the best of the best. We have got 3 finalists, and we are checking now how they are going to market, how successful they are, etc. And then we will have our winner. And I secretly hope it will be apoQlar.
I love it. Excellent. So, Sirko, you were in the competition this year then?
Yeah. I still remember the party in Germany and my way back to Hamburg in a train. It was really bad. But no, we are under the final tree, and we have to see that we get this prize, right? It counts until end of this year. Yeah. And then it's a 1 million in cash. It's not so bad, right?
It's amazing actually that a competition like this, that there's a cash prize, people. They are literally, this is not a consultancy services. This is the real. No.
Yeah, they're usually, I know what you mean. There are usually a lot of prizes where you send in small letters, see, oh, you get something, but you will never, I know what I mean. But this one is really in cash now. But you need to prove a lot also, no? So it's...
You do. But I think actually one of the things I would say is, to be honest, what I've actually seen some of the winners go on to achieve, it's worth even more than the million cash. And I know that sounds a bit blasé, because don't get me wrong, $1 million is an awful lot of money. But what I've seen actually happen with some of the winners of the previous competition with regards to what it's done, exposure to customers, the actual amplification from a PR perspective, and getting to the top 3 alone, Sirko, is an amazing achievement, by the way. I'm sure you've seen some of the benefit even from getting into that kind of visibility as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, to be under the top 3 is already, I didn't. When I came to Augsburg, I didn't expect nothing. That's usually the best. You expect nothing, and you go there for a nice dinner and a drink, and then you sometimes win when you have luck. But I want to mention one thing, Andrew, because co-sell. When I think a lot of startups are here, and when I heard my first time co-sell, I thought, do I need to share the profit or something with Microsoft? And that is a very important point. It's not true. So you keep all your sales under your control. It's also your profit. So there is an added value for Microsoft sales too. But it's not that you have to give them 20 or 30% or something, or not even 1. So that's I think quite important to know.
That's a great point. These IBA partners we have in our collaboration, these are perfect contacts also when it comes to Azure procurement. So this might be interesting for startups who will maybe step out of this program in the nearly future. That's always a good contact also to discuss these kind of points, and that's where our IBA partners are very well educated on. So good point.
Yeah, no, great point, Zach. And I thank you so much for making that, because when we look at all the controversy going on at the moment about various app stores and what's going on, I think it's particularly timely comment as well. So thank you. Yes, it's incredibly important for us, because essentially what we're looking at is kind of the point that Sophia, you were making earlier as well. What we're trying to do is we're trying to enable our customers to adopt the latest and most innovative technology. And we do that by bringing amazing startups like yourself and like so many that we have on the call here today, bringing them onto the platform and then enabling that connection. Eli is doing a great job. He's asked a couple of questions. So come on, everyone else. I want to hear other questions from the audience as well. Look, actually, there's another button I didn't see. It says questions. I'll have a look at that in a second. But one that Eli did have is, what are some of the common mistakes startups make when working with the co-sell program? So, Sophia, I'm going to come to you first, and then Sirko, I would love it from the horse's mouth, as it were. So, Sophia, what are some of the mistakes that you've seen when it comes to engaging with Ingram that that you've seen in some of the companies you've worked with?
Well, I think it's dependable on in which state you are with your startup. If you only get an idea, it's maybe a little bit too early to think about a big corporation. So you should have a valid solution that is, that's functioning, and maybe even some idea on how to sell it. That would be also brilliant. But otherwise, we are taking startups. We are taking like everyone, but we are checking. So. There has to be some points that you already done, that you already can bring into the relationship, so that we are both successful, and that's
So sometimes maturity is a challenge, is what I'm hearing. Do you know what? Have you ever found as well that you get? I think Sirko, this might be something that you alluded to, not personally, but you've seen around. Bright, shiny objects. It's like there's a great concept, but what's the problem that you're solving? Is that something else that?
Yeah, I mean, the most important is your sales idea, your sales approach, your entrepreneur model, and that means, when you have a solution, that you also have a second or third step in mind. And what I think is very important, that you pitch it to the sales force of Microsoft and Ingram. Show it to them directly, get your feedback. And when you go to customers, get your feedback immediately. Before, when you think your solution is great, doesn't mean it is great, right? Your customers need to love it. They need to find it. I have always, my customers are doctors, surgeons. They tell me quite directly what they don't like. And that, I think, when you have co-sell, doesn't mean everything runs from alone. You need to push and also to help the Microsoft sales force, help them to sell your product, give them the right materials, nice marketing stuff, nice access to your applications, that it's easy for them to sell it too.
This is such an important point, because I think a very experienced salesperson that I've worked with over the years has this expression, and he says, "Get a quick yes or a quick no, but do not die by the slow no." There is nothing worse. I think there's real value in Sirko, and what Sirko is saying there to the audience, because I think that ability to articulate value very quickly and succinctly and clearly, give people the ability to scale for you, but also understand, recognize quickly, yes, they're going to help, and this is the timeline we're working on, or actually, I'm not getting anything back here. If I'm not getting anything back, do I need to change? Or is it something that, they're just not going to engage and it's not the right time? But the slow no is a real challenge, isn't it?
Yes. Or just ask your customer, what would you expect the solution should have that you buy it? When would you buy it? And then they will tell you. They love to be participating. But just don't think always that you are the most intelligent.
There we go. Yeah, Leonie, what were you going to say?
I would like to add something on the topic we had with the common mistakes startups can take or do when they step out. Like in the most situations of life, there's no strict guidance or guideline to proceed. But what we recognize so far when we work with ISVs and their solutions, if you can pitch your solutions in 90 seconds to, for example, your grandma, and she understands the value, then it's perfect. You can take the biggest blocker in co-sell. So that, I think, would be a point to think of.
Excellent. Well, listen, I honestly can't believe this. We are actually at officially the end of our time. I want to give each of you just sort of one last chance to maybe leave one final thought. I'd love to hear each of your final thoughts just to leave people with, because obviously what we're going to jump into now is the networking. So we're going to give everyone a chance we'll jump on different tables. So as part of the networking, there'll be that great opportunity to engage with us. And don't forget, we've also got Thomas on the call. I think I've got a couple of people from my team. I know Sophia, who set all this up. Thanks, Sophia. Is also going to be in the networking. Kelvin, I think Leo and Inesh. So I've got a team that's based all around Europe. We've got Italy. We've got, I don't know if Peggy's here as well. Peggy's in Sweden. We've got Kelvin in Ireland. We've got Sophia in Germany, and we have Anesh in Portugal. Plus Leonie, Sophia, and Sirko. So look, there's loads of people to talk to after this. Before we jump to that though, Leonie, one last thought.
I think I just can repeat. We have a lot of call emotions directly from Microsoft, but we're focusing on our partnership and the partner-to-partner approach because there are so many opportunities for ISVs. There are so many opportunities to enable themselves, to empower themselves, and to go to market in the correct way or in the right way. So don't hesitate to ask and contact us, me, my colleague Thomas or Sophia, because there are so many opportunities waiting for all of you. Thank you.
Excellent. Lovely. Thank you, Leonie. Sophia.
My last thought is think about scaling. And that includes technical readiness, SaaS readiness, channel readiness, together with Ingram.
Excellent. And thank you very much indeed. Sirko, final.
Yeah, what can I add? So I think the most important is always to try it and to do it and not to think too long. And then I think it's the easiest. Go to get Corsair ready, get on a place, meet the people, not just go to the Microsoft, go to Ingram guys, show it directly, show it to your customer, learn, improve it, and then you will have a great product.
Fantastic. Listen, thank you, Leonie, Sophia, Sirko. It's been great. As I said, every time I come onto these panels, there's always something that I pick up. And what I heard today, Leonie, what it sounds like is by engaging with yourself and Thomas, there's this amazing opportunity to really understand how these companies can get the best. And through using your knowledge and expertise, actually getting them down the right path. Sophia, 55,000 resellers. Within those resellers, they have hundreds of employees. That is literally millions of people. That if you engage with Ingram, there's that amazing opportunity to actually reach customers that you are not even aware of at the moment. So a phenomenal scaling opportunity. And Sirko, in the time that we find ourselves, when we're not traveling around the world, the opportunity for businesses to work in partnership with ones that are located in those regions enables companies like yours to scale and grow in incredibly trying times. To me, it sounds like a win-win-win. So listen, everyone, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And whatever you do, we're down to 39 people. People are running away. Don't run away. Spend 10 minutes. Come and have a chat with us in the networking area, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you again, everyone. It's much appreciated.